Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again. I'm going to do another pauper deck today, and I've made a decision I'm going to try and do one pauper deck a week going forward. So I've done 3 this week. You can go and check out the other 2 from earlier in the week if you want to. Tomorrow's deck will be a normal commander deck for me, and then we'll slip in a pauper one each week, I think, or at least I'll try to. And we'll take it from there. But this one is another mono one today. I've just done the price check, and it's about $35 in real life. It's under 5 tickets on MTGO. So yeah, it's cheap, it's reasonably good, and it is, as you are all aware, Captain Ripley Vance. 2 in a red for a 3/2 human pirate. Not really relevant. But whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Captain Ripley Vance, and then it deals its damage equal to its power to any target. You're probably wondering why I've gone with this. 3 spells is quite difficult, and it's mono red, so we haven't got the green ramp to do the green ramp side of things. And what we can do? Well, you see, you can cheat. And even at using just pauper cards and common cards, you've got a lot of stuff at 0, 1 and 2, and a lot of mana ramp in red, believe it or not. Instants and sorceries agree, but they count as a spell. And yeah, I think it kind of works. So without further ado, here we go on the deck list. Just a few things I will point out. The more I've been fiddling around and reading about, I've done a little bit of reading about pauper. Apparently the Streets of New Capenna lands are quite relevant, so they'll probably be turning up, especially in some of the multicolored decks. They're just a nice way of doing things. Command Tower probably doesn't need to be in this deck because it is a mono deck, but I've put it in anyway. I don't know why, I just think it's force of habit to prove that Command Tower is being printed as common. A couple of things to point out. The deserts are here. We have got some cycling lands in here just for a little bit of card draw. Autonomous Furnace is in here from Phyrexian will be 1. Again, for the card draw side, Smouldering Craters, Path of Ancestry, and Opal Palace becomes more important in a pauper deck, I think, than it does in a main style commander deck, because it pumps up your commander. And with Captain Ripley Vance, this is quite important in this deck, because as soon as the captain dies, it goes to the command zone. Yes, you have to replay it, but yeah, spend the mana, play it for that 1 extra. Yes, it's a tax on your mana, I'm aware of that. So the first time Captain Ripley dies, it will end up cost you 6 if you've got the Opal Palace out to replay them. However, it comes into play with an extra +1/+1 counter on it, so that takes it from a 4/3/2 to a 4/3. And then if you can play 2 more spells, it becomes a 5/4, and you're shooting something for 5. And yeah, that makes Captain Ripley Vance really quite good. So I think it's worth paying the extra to do it with this one. The other side of things, I'll just leave it here. Dwarven Mines here just so we get a blocker at some stage if we've got 3 mountains in play. Again, it's a card, unless you're really short on mana, hold it in your hands so you can play it when you have the 3 or more mountains in play, so you do get that bonus of it, just bear in mind. But we want to get 3 spells a turn out. And as you can see, I know we start the wrong way around, the mana curve finishes at 5. And that's with Mana Geyser, just for the extra lands, for the extra mana. The Shattered States of Era gains control, pumps our creatures, we get to exile it, trample, haste, it's all so-so. And the dragon, just for some treasure tokens. But we end at 5. It should not be difficult to be casting 3 spells a turn once we get going and get the mana out. And to help that out, we can see we've got a humongous amount of 1-drops, quite a lot of 2-drops, and quite a lot of 3-drops, and nothing really at 4 or 5. So I think it's worth just pointing that out. Keep the curve as low as you can. I've kept it as low as I can for this. And it is, as I say, a pauper deck. Obviously, if you want to take Captain Ripley Vance, turn it into a full-on let's go deck, there's a lot more options for this, which will really make sure you get the spells there really quickly. But for pauper, I think it's a little bit more of a challenge and a bit more fun. So here we go. I've got 1 of each of the kobolds in because they're free creatures, along with Ornithopter, which was common, and Phyrexian Walker, which was also common from back in Visions. So that gives you 5 spells you haven't got to have any mana for, so yeah, helps you get there. Then at the 1-drop slot, Beamtown Beatstick, just so we can get a bit of treasure if we get something through that's not blocked. Brightstone Ritual gives us some red mana for each goblin we control, and we have got goblins coming up, don't panic. Burst Lightning, just a bit of removal, and if we kick it, we get reasonable removal. Crash Through is more for card draw. Yes, it'd be nice to give our creatures trample. Yes, sometimes you'll be able to do it. But at the end of the day, it's a cycle card. It's a red card draw spell that does 1 mana for draw a card, basically. Fair enough. Faithless Looting's here for draw 2, discard 2. Here comes the first Goblin, Fanatical Firebrand. Got haste, so you can sack it to do the damage if you want to. Fiery Impulses here, 2 damage to a creature, and then if there are 3 or more, instance of sorceries, you get to do 3 instead. Fine. Foundry Street Denzian, another red creature, gets a bit of a pump. This is quite a good one if you've got a lot of goblins coming to play, plus the captain, plus they crash through. You can get through some damage quite quickly with this. Goblin Arsonist is another goblin, 1-drop. Goblin Champion, Exalted and Haste. Goblin Motivator gives something haste. Impulsive Pilferer becomes a treasure when it dies. And obviously you can encore it for 4 mana, to get 3 treasures when they all die at the end. Insolent Neonite gives you a discard a card, sacrifice it, draw outlet, but it's a 1/1 with menace, but it's another cheap spell. Lightning Bolt, it's red deck, you're going to have it in here. Mog Fanatic, Raging Goblin, Shock. Skirk Prospector I've chucked in just in case we do need to generate some mana for some reason. We can sack some of the goblins off with getting and use them to generate mana if we need to, but swings and roundabouts on this one, I'll be honest. Sticky Fingers is very nice. Gives the creature menace, which is great on Captain because you're trying to make them bigger. And getting through gets a treasure token, and when the creature dies, it draws a card, so it replaces itself. I can cope with that in enchantment aura in red, that's fine. Torch Courier, sacrifice it, gives something haste, and Voldarian Epicue comes into play. 1 damage to each opponent, and you get a blood token you can discard later on too. Abrade, probably artifact removal in this deck, I'm guessing. Battle Hymn gives us a whole load of mana for each creature we control, which could be significant. Battle-Starved Goblin becomes blocked. It deals 1 damage to each creature blocking it. So, 3/3's got to be blocked by something with toughness 4. Or Death Touch, really. Yeah. But we'll see. Bitter Reunion, just a way of discarding a card and drawing 2, and then giving all our creatures haste if we need to do that way. Desperate Rituals, one of the mana ramp cards I was talking about. Dragon Fodder gives us more tokens. First State of Class is an interesting one. I put this in because... you can't learn. I'm not worried about the learning side of it. I realise that. But whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it gains haste till the end of turn. Now, if we've got a lot of mana, we've got a lot of token generators or goblins in our hand for some reason, maybe someone's done Wheel of Fortune because they didn't realise we were playing Pauper and they've found some way of giving us lots of cards in our hand. Getting a whole load of creatures in play with a +1/+1 and haste is not the worst thing in the world. Even if you have to play, Ripley. Can we get another way of giving +1/+1 on Ripley? Yeah, okay, cope with that. Goblin Instigator comes into play, gives us a goblin to go with it. The Trailblazer's got Menace, which is a nice little workaround, get some more damage through. Impact Tremors. Yeah, Impact Tremors is going to be a key card for you in this deck, purely because it means it gives us a way of dealing damage. If you get it in play before you play any creatures, creature comes in play, deals 1 damage. So, Dragon Fodder becomes a shock to each opponent with Impact Tremors in play. So, pretty good. Same with Krenko's Command. Lightning Strike, the fixed lightning bolt. Ral's Reinforcements gives us creature elementals, red-blue elementals. So, more tokens, but 2 mana for 2, so that's cool. Thrill Possibility is another way. Don't forget, when you cast your 3rd spell each turn, so you can cast all your instants. If you cast 3 instants in your opponent's phase, you'll still get the ability from Captain Ripley Vance, and then you get to your main phase, you can maybe do 3 sorceries. Bear in mind. So that works, and that gives you a bit card draw. Tormenting Voice, sorcery, discard card, draw 2. Arcane Signet just for a little bit more ramp. Don't think we really need it with this deck, which is why I really haven't talked about the ramp already. I've only put that in Commander Sphere in. Not sure if we need them. I mean, playing 36 lands and most of our creatures are 1-drops and spells are 1-drops, so should be okay. Up to the 3s, Blister Stick Shaman appears just to ping something. Boggart Brute gives another menace creature for 3 mana, which is 3/2, which is nice. Exhibition Magician either gives us a treasure token or citizen token. Goblin Rough Rider is just another goblin because I wanted more goblins in just to make sure we could get as much as we can out of the mana producer. It was Bloodstone Ritual, so that's why that's here. But it's a 3/2, it's okay. Gutter Snipe. Again, Commander Masters, thank you very much for printing this at common. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Merchant of the Veil, discard a card, draw a card, and then when it comes into play, 3 mana, discard 1, draw a card. Helps us cycle through our deck quite quickly. Rummaging Goblin is another way of getting the cycling on the go, but another goblin we can get. Seething Song gives us extra mana. Caesar Spoils, discard a card, draw 2, create a treasure. Thatcher Revolt gives us 3 humans. Now, the trick with this is you have to be careful with these ones. They get sacrificed at the beginning and next end step. So if you use them to get extra mana from something like, say, Battle Hymn, make sure you play this first. I'm not sure it should be in the deck, but I wanted more ways of getting creatures out of my spells. So hence why it's here. And it's not a bad 3-drop, I suppose. Fiery Temper, just in case anyone makes you discard. There are some pauper black discard decks I've seen kicking around, so I'm not sure how many people play against. And Filigree Familiar, gain a couple of life when it comes into play, draw a card when it dies. Mentioned Commander Sphere. Big Score, discard a card, draw 2, get some treasures. And you saw it, Empty the Warrens. Yeah, reprinted at common in Modern Masters. The 2013 edition, so it's now classed as common. I think it was common originally, if I remember correctly from back in the day. Yeah, you should be able to storm out and get a whole load of creature tokens, and it's one of the few times that you may want to think about sacrificing your Torch Courier. If you've got, say, 8 or 9 goblins off here and you've got an opponent who's low on life, sack the Torch Courier to give them all haste. Will upset some people undoubtedly, bear in mind. Young Red Dragon gives us a treasure token because we bathe it in gold first at instant speed and then become a 3/2 flyer. Sulphurous Blast gives us a little bit of control. Obviously none of the big red control things you used to see me use, like Blasphemous Act or Chain Reaction, are uncommon. We all know that. So this gives us a little bit of way of controlling the board, and most of the creatures I've seen, unless someone's gone down an Angel deck route, have toughness 3 pauper, I think, so we should be able to clear the board quite regularly with this. And Unexpected Windfall, just another way, a slightly more weird costed Big Score. Never quite sure why, but you know, maybe they didn't think it was pushed hard enough. So yeah, anyway. And the last 3 cards I've already mentioned. I will just talk about Shattered Spires. I like this because it does gain control of a creature. Now, I think there is a possibility of a big green deck out there somewhere that just plays loads of ramp and then starts dropping things like worms at common. I might have a look at that for next week's deck for Pauper, but this is why the Shattered States of Era is here, just so we can gain control of it and then take it from there. We get it to the end of time, we might get some damage in. That's cool. And then when this flips into the Saga, well, it flips over and we get 3/3 with Trample and Haste. Not great, but hey, it happens. And that's it. That's my take on Captain Ripley Vance for this week. My little bit more of Pauper indulgence. Like I say, I'll be going into more Pauper decks. I'll try and do one a week for a few weeks until the new set hits. I know we're starting to see some of the spoilers from Wilds of Eldraine, but nothing's really hit me yet. Maybe next week we'll get some 1 or 2 Wild of Eldraine's videos on the go for thinking. But until the full set's spoiled, which I think is Monday, I might hold off and do them a little bit later on. But that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please hit the subscribe button. 226 as I record this. Did go up to 227. Someone didn't stop subscribing for some reason. Never quite worked out. But anyway, if you can, please do so. If not, come and see me on Twitch and I'll try and play these decks out on Twitch. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.